Hello, I'm Adam Riley, and welcome to the Enso July 2024 product update. So this is our latest Enso release. I'm just going to run you through some of the highlights. So first up, we have Snowflake support. So you can see this workflow I've got set up on the screen. I've got my database connect, the same way that the Postgres support previously worked. Now I'm connected to Snowflake. I've got my Snowflake server name. I'm pulling in my username and password from my Enso secrets. So these are stored in my cloud account, so I don't need to expose them in the workflow code, being pulled in. And then I'm just doing a query, so I'm pulling back this crime table and working with it as you would any data you would in the in-memory engine. So I'm filtering down to the area is 3, I'm selecting some columns. If I want to, I can add additional columns. But the important difference here, you'll notice this is a DB table, and this query is actually being executed in the Snowflake engine. So I'm not moving the data out of Snowflake, and in actual fact, if we click on the visualization, we can look at the SQL query that's been dynamically generated as we would have our Enso workflow and being run in the Snowflake engine. So great if you've got large amounts of data in Snowflake, you can take advantage of the ease of use of the Enso GUI, but taking advantage of that Snowflake sort of engine on the back end. Next thing to show you is some improvements we've made to the table visualization. So I'm just reading in a CSV file here. So it is delimited by commas, but I've not selected commas as the delimiter, so it's just putting it in as one line. And what we've added is these gold dots here. So this is visualizing Whitespace for you on the screen. So by default, we highlight and display any unusual Whitespace. So in this case, 2 spaces next to each other is somewhat unusual, so they get highlighted by default. Whereas here, it's not on by default. This is just a tab character. And if we want to see all of it, we can use this button up here, put full Whitespace rendering on, and here we can see the tab, the single spaces. So really useful when you've got strange whitespace characters, and we'll be adding more features to this as the releases go on, just to make it really clear about exactly what data you've got and how to work with it. The other cool thing that we've done with the table visualization, so if I just actually split that to columns on the commas, actually put it into a table format. Again, you can still see it's highlighting these trailing spaces, really useful to just ensure that data quality, so you could probably do a trim or something at this point to clean it up. But the other thing we've added, to you'll notice the row numbers have now got this blue highlighting. If I double click on one of these rows, it adds a getter for that particular row. So you can see here I've now extracted the data for just that single row. If I want to, I can change the index and we can see the different rows as I cycle that across in live time. We're going to be adding more of these kind of interactions of adding from the visualization to the graph as months go on, so keep an eye out for things coming in that space. The last thing to show you is just some general cleanup we've done to the interface. So you'll notice this control up here in the top left has become a lot cleaner from what it was before. So we've moved the project name across to the left, and the rename icon for the project is there. We've also cleaned up these 2 icons. So we previously had record and record once here. We've now switched these to refresh and write all. So let's start with refresh. So by default, Enso is running live, but it does cache your data. So this CSV file, for example, if I now go and change this on disk and add an additional row, it won't automatically read that in because it's got this data cached. The refresh button tells Enso to go after the inputs and re-pull the data. So I press this now, you'll see it pulls in the additional row of data that I added in the background. The write all button replaces the record once button. So this is the same functionality, just a new name. So again, we don't live write to the output files by default. If you want to write, you use the write all button. Last thing to show is just the new panel toggle switch we've got. So down here in the bottom left, we've got a new toggle switch to quickly open the code editor view, and here on the top right, another one to open the side panel. So we've got easier access to those two panels, and then the add new component button is moved to the bottom right, whereas previously bottom left. So that is the highlights for the July release. It's available for download from the website now, so please go check it out. Let us know what you think. Thank you for watching.